Anyway, you can make my hair thicker and make me skinnier.
So he didn't hear the go button, but guys, welcome to Joe's Shrimp Shack YouTube. He came. We're the Aquarium Guys. My name is Robbie Olson, and this is
Jim Colby. How you doing?
So you already know Joe.
Oh,
that's right, guys.
Right? He came all the way. We're in northern Minnesota. He had to drive 3.5 hours to do a podcast with us. So we're returning the favor, and this is the Aquarium Guys Studio B, right, in my basement, and we have, thanks to the magic of cinema, teleported ourselves back to your Shrimp Shack.
That's right. I love it.
It's like
Right.
Star Trek.
Spock, tomb to beam up, please.
Right. So you requested that we, since we have our podcast going and, people like some of our stories, that we have our story time with you.
I love stories. The thing is like, I never get a chance to tell the stories is here and there. Because half the time it's like you never think of the stories. But, for the past hour we've been doing this podcast and everything else, we've had some good rapport and we got some good stories coming up.
We've learned a lot about each other. That's for sure.
That's
right. That is for sure.
Too much, yes.
Way too much. But, who wants to take first crack at story time?
I think we should let our guest take a first crack at story
Well,
time.
no. We're his guest, but
that's
he is
right.
the captain of this ship.
This
is Joe's Shrimp Shack.
I forgot.
Right here.
Joe
Yes.
I am the Vanna White
Yes,
of
you
Joe's
are.
Shrimp Shack.
Wow, Vanna. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, baby?
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
I do want to tell
Here's a
everybody.
vowel.
I do want
Booyah.
to tell everybody, call Big Rich up and tell him that you love him.
Yes.
God, yes.
He enjoyed our podcast. Now, at the beginning of each one of our podcasts, we do a plug for a charity, and we love, the Ohio Fish Rescue. I mean, who else has 88,000 gallons in their home trying to really do a rescue for fish? So we do a
Doing the
plug
right
for
thing.
him every beginning of the podcast, and you giggled finding out that every podcast we tell people, give out his number for people to call and tell him they love him.
I kind of want to just call him at like 3 o'clock in the morning and be like,
I love you.
Rich, this is Joe. Remember Aquashella?
I remember
I love
Shella.
you, man.
I love you.
I love you.
I love
you,
you.
Shaggy.
I love you.
The coolest thing about that is that we started doing this on our own before we ever met him. So we did this for like 4 or 5 weeks. Hey, call him up, give him some love. And he's like, why are people calling up and giving me love?
Yeah, we called him like, hey, would you like to join our show? We give you a little plugs. And
He's
he's
like,
like,
who are you guys?
Wow.
And like, no, we're the guys that get people to tell you that you're loved. I'm like, that was you?
And thank God he wasn't nearby. He'd have killed us both probably.
No, he
a good guy.
enjoyed the hell out of that, actually.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun.
I wonder how many times he's thought about, should I change my number? Because you get those one guys that are like late at night, had a few drinks, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna call Rich again and again and again.
Well, I'm assuming he could block numbers, number one, but
That explains why he doesn't answer our phone calls
He's
anymore.
such an extrovert and such a good guy. I just think he likes the opportunity with anyone. He'll give any listener.
He's a
some
great
time.
guy. I met him for the first time at Aquashella in Chicago this last year. Sat by him for a few hours, and I love just chit chatting with him.
So he may not listen to this. I hope not, because we're going to I'm at least going to Aquashella this next year. I'm gonna make a point of it. It's in Dallas, I believe.
There's actually going to be 3 this year.
Oh man,
What?
I got to go to one of them anyway, and I got to buy a mullet just to dress up like him. I'm gonna get a Ohio Fish Rescue T-shirt. I'm gonna get the whole mullet going on. I'm gonna wear shorts.
Yes, and just like when I went there, Jason Adams, he's another fish tuber. People are mistaken. Well, not really mistaken, but they kind of thought that we looked alike, and I'm like, oh, I need to get a full beard, and I can go and look just like you. I mean, we have fun there. I mean, Fish Tube is a great group of people. I mean, we had like sumo wrestling, we had a bug eating contest, we had blind aquascaping. I mean, we had some fun.
Let's get back to the bug eating
Yeah.
contest. Yeah.
So these were food grade, dehydrated. I think.
Oh, so they weren't live?
No, they weren't. I was
Pussies?
actually hoping when Rob brought it up from Flip Aquatics, brought it up in his YouTube page. I was thinking that they're going to be live, but then he mentioned that they're food gradable. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what they're going to taste like. So we all kind of lined up at the table, and the first round was crickets. You had to eat 10 crickets.
Ooh.
So I'm like, okay, I just threw them all in one. Everybody pretty much is all in one bite. And they took I think it was the first 5 people.
Let me guess. Tastes like chicken.
It actually tastes like you were chewing on cardboard. It had no flavor to it at all.
That ain't bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did it wrong.
So then
Did
the second round, they called it was like a trail mix or something. Because this is like I don't know what company came out with this.
Some tree hugging company, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it was worms, it was crickets, it was grasshoppers, water bugs, and you had to take a huge handful and you had to gobble it down. Well, that wasn't that bad. Well, the third
was there money involved in this?
no, it wasn't. It was
just pride,
it was just
stupidity.
All
right, just checking.
So the third round was a 3-inch cricket, a scorpion, and I think there's some more. I can't remember what was the other smaller bugs in there too, but
I've got my cat here.
I was like, what do you do? Do you try to get me with the whole entire? Ooh, look at the whole.
Look at one of these, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Oh, no.
Like and subscribe if you want more of this.
No.
Yes.
So, yeah. So Rob went over and said that we couldn't drink no water while we're doing this. So I'm like, all right. So we all pretty much stuffed the bugs in our mouth.
So they had Tabasco sauce and milk.
Oh, I wish. But it instantly dried your mouth out. So we're all sitting here going, we need a drink of water. Rob's like, no. And I'm like, but it's so dry. And you see me on YouTube, like, opening up my mouth, like, I can't swallow. And he's like, fine, take a sip. So we took a sip, and that still wasn't enough because you had a 3-inch cockroach that you're trying to chug down and stuff. So we ended up, me and the guy that got first and second, he said we pretty much tied in everything else. It didn't have no adverse reactions the next day. I was kind of thinking the next day, I was like, you know what?
I think we need to do an itinerary. So crickets, cockroaches. What all did you eat?
Scorpion.
Scorpion. How about super mealworms? Don't do those.
I think there was some in there too.
Did you chew them at least?
Well, they're all dried.
They're all dry,
Oh,
but
then none of them are alive.
They're not alive.
Because super mealworms will like chew through your stomach.
Yeah, these guys are smart. The contest I was in was
Dummy
live,
dumb.
live
Big dummy
stuff,
dumb.
yes. But I would imagine when you pop in a whole bunch of live, dry insects, that it just it takes all the spit out of your mouth.
It does. It was instantly dry. And the worst part with like the cockroach, the 3-inch cockroach, is when you're chewing it, the legs are flexible. So, of course, when you're trying to bite down to swallow this, the legs are still long. You can't break them, so you have to grind them in your teeth just to try and break the legs.
Ooh,
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
That's a touch rough.
Yeah, that was not good at all.
So, question, right? How close did it taste to the Kashi Go lean bars?
Pretty close.
Pretty close. If you want to know what the
hey, another sponsor that we just aren't going to get.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. It's gone.
Man.
You had your chance. Kashi's gone.
She's gone.
I know, but the thing is, this is on my YouTube page.
Right,
So
that's what I'm saying.
I'll
Kashi's
never-
gone for you.
For you,
Oh,
they
man.
love us.
We just flush it down the toilet.
Kashi's good stuff, yeah. When I was at a pet expo in Orlando, Florida, I went down with my buddy Mark, and we had a great time. And unfortunately, or fortunately, they were serving beer there all day long.
Fortunately for you.
Yeah, and it was very enjoyable for us. And we were there, and it was about at this point where we've spent all the money that we had with us. It's the last day, and we went, oh, we forgot to get anything for our kids. I had 2 young boys. Mark had 3 young girls at the time. And so as we're leaving, Armstrong Cricket Farm was there, advertising their live crickets. And they had these bright green and bright pink T-shirts that you could get. And it says, I ate a darn cricket to win this T-shirt. And they're pink and they're green and they're in little kid sizes. And we go by and Mark said, well, maybe we should eat some crickets so we can get some T-shirts for our kids. Now it's the last day. They've got a lot of T-shirts left. And the guy says, yeah, you guys go ahead. He says, you can have all the T-shirts you want. You just got to eat a cricket for each one. Well, I watched my buddy Mark grab 3 crickets, popped them in his mouth, and he goes, not bad. And he got 3 T-shirts. Well, I grabbed a couple crickets, 2 big ones, and threw them in my mouth. And I made the mistake. I didn't realize what he did.
Wait. Did they make you take your T-shirt off after just 2?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I got to keep my clothes on.
Thank goodness.
When Mark grabbed the crickets, he squished the crickets so they were dead in his hand, threw them in and ate them. Nobody told me that trick.
Oh, you had them live.
Did they come back up?
No. I chewed a cricket, and it spewed cricket juice across my tongue.
Like a ketchup packet.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yummy.
And it was just kind of a gag reflex. It was like, holy! And I thought I was going to hurl, but I did get him down. And Mark goes, what was that all about? I go, I chewed him. He goes, oh, no, you got to kill him first. I said, well, you could have probably told me that a little bit ago,
So does your gag reflex normally imitate a 1980 kung fu movie?
No, it was Jerry Lewis. Hoi!
Boy! All right.
Dean.
Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
So, crush your crickets.
Crush your crickets before
Crush
you
your
eat them.
crickets.
If you're eating them alive.
Eating scorpions, eat the tail last
Really?
because it'll make your tongue go numb
Wow.
because of the stinger.
When I worked at the grocery store for years, the salesman comes in and goes, "Hey, we got some new stuff," and they had actually scorpions right inside a sucker.
Yep.
And I bought some, and my boss lost his mind. He goes, "There's no way anybody's ever going to sell these things."
They're
And-
popular.
Yeah, and so the
Very.
first thing I did, the next morning, I opened up the grocery store. And we always had the kids from across the school would always stop in and get snacks or whatever. And I bought 2 of these scorpion suckers for the kids out of my own pocket. And I said, "Hey guys, show your buddies at school this, you know." And so they went there, and I sold all 72 that afternoon after school.
People love them.
Yep. So it cost me a couple bucks out of my pocket just to show my boss that I was right. And then I reordered them, and we sold them over and over again all summer long.
They also have the mealworm ones too now.
Yes, I've seen those.
So, I got in trouble. We went on a school trip. I don't even remember what it was. Probably in Canada. And they had chocolate-covered everything, right? So they had grasshoppers, crickets, mealworms, the whole deal. And I got in stellar trouble because it was super popular for kids to buy these things and just like, "Oh, here, you try one. Gross." And I'm just sitting there like, "Oh, no, it's fake crickets. They look like crickets, but they're chocolate, and they put it in their mouth. It's a real cricket. Get the gush in the tongue." Yeah, that's a great way to get in trouble with your teacher.
Oh yeah.
Are you feeding kids crickets? These people are supposed to be vegetarians. I'm like, it's a bug.
But, it's probably better than most school food anyway.
I guess.
Yeah.
What do you want, chicken nuggets or chocolate-covered crickets?
Cardboard pizza.
There we go.
That was the
Cardboard
best.
pizza.
Those little rectangle pizzas.
Oh. We just recently...
Aren't those in MREs?
Yes. they
Yes,
are.
okay.
Meal number 22.
My God. He's one of those, ladies
one
and
of those
gentlemen.
people.
He'll open a new YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to that one.
We were just on the Mantras of Rock concert.
I want to rock.
Yeah. We're on the Mantras of Rock cruise, which goes out of Miami, goes down to the Caribbean and back.
You're going to
and
get
stuff.
Joe to join you, aren't you?
I tell you what.
You need someone sober.
It's the best money I spent. But when he said cardboard pizza, so they have 40 bands, and they all play twice, so there's 80 concerts in 5 days. And we're watching Tesla.
Nice.
And Jeff from Tesla says he holds up, somebody brought out a pizza to the band, from Royal Caribbean. And he goes, "Hey, folks," he goes, "special, you got cardboard pizza again." And he takes the pizza, and he takes a bite out of it and throws the pizza out into the ocean like a Frisbee. And it didn't even waver. I mean, it was like, bam. I mean, and he goes, yeah, and he goes, "I probably just killed a dolphin. Don't tell anybody."
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was some of the when the people go on these cruises, they go, "Oh, the food's just wonderful." When they get these rock and roll cruises, and they spare no expense. The first night we had hot dogs, pizza, and like macaroni and cheese. I'm not
You
kidding.
guys are going to be so trash that it's just going to taste like whatever.
Yeah, they have no idea. They're like,
It's basically the equivalent of you being shit-faced pulling into a Taco Bell.
pretty much.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's what you're going for.
yeah. And then when we pulled up, we were very frowned upon because our cruise ship pulled up in port into Jamaica. And we pulled up in between 2 Disney cruises. And if you've ever been on a cruise, when they park these boats at the cruise port, you're only 45, 50 feet away from each ship. And how they get these huge 300-foot ships in between, without banging into each other. And so as we pull in, Lita Ford is playing at 10 o'clock in the morning. And she's wearing a bikini and chaps. And
Wait, I saw this picture in your basement.
yes, and she has a thong. I mean, there's nothing left to the imagination. And Lita
Wink,
Ford
wink.
still looks pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And so as we pull into port, you look over.
Kids are Googling
Yeah.
this. I just want to let you know this.
You
They're
look
like, pause. Love you. Look at this dude.
yeah. So to the left, up on the Disney cruise ship, they're watching Milo and Stitch or something up on the big screen. There's a bunch of kids and families up there watching. And over here, they're watching Beauty and the Beast. And now you have to realize when we pull into port, we got 100,000 volts, amps, whatever, playing. The ship is rocking. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. The entire ship is drunk. And what we do on this
They're
ship,
not prepared.
No.
no, they're not prepared.
They're
And
not
what,
prepared.
So what we do on this ship is if you give another ship the Monsters of Rock salute, 300-400 people go over and moon the other ship.
Wow.
So
That explains the pictures I found on your computer.
yes, right.
Oh.
And so as you pull up, and there's Disney Cruise, we pull up, and we come chugging in. Lita Ford's playing Kiss Me Deadly, and she goes, turn it up. And so now we're at maximum volume, and all of a sudden little children are coming to the sides of the ship going, what is going on over there? And then all these mothers come over there, and then Lita Ford gets up on top of an amp, so now she's as high as she possibly can be, and she's shaking her rump over at this ship. Then she goes over to this side, she's shaking her rump over here, and she goes, let's give them a Monsters of Rock salute. And 500 people on each side of the ship went over and mooned the ship.
And that's when Disney Family Vacation sued the other.
Yeah, and that's where 500 people had to now register.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And that's when the Port Authority boarded our ship and told us to get off the ship.
Did they?
Yeah, they said, you guys just need to go to port and do something and quit bothering this cruise.
go away.
Just go
Just go away.
You know, what are you going to do? You got 500 people, mooning the Disney cruise. But, yeah, I don't know how we got off on that from Cardboard Pizza, but
All
thanks
right.
for bringing that up.
I love that, though.
That was an excellent tangent. I'm going to try to keep a story, more cycled to the hobby.
It's after 10 o'clock, so go ahead.
It is. And you guys should see this, right? We got these sweet swag from Joe. It says Joe Shrimp Shack. It's got the etched in the glass. This is pretty sweet. Check out on his website. But I had to thank you again for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. If you come into a store and you spend $1,000, he'll give you one of those for $5. I'm just trying to help, man.
$5.50.
$5.50.
You know what? $6 if you like and subscribe.
That's right.
That's right.
Done.
Got to smash the like button and got to smash the subscribe button.
There you go. So my story, right? So we take in a lot of fish. Any pet store really does take in fish.
Yeah.
But, if you're wholesaling or if you're trying to do different projects, you get picked on way more because there's more stores or, they'll give you the crazy stuff that the pet stores won't want to take. So Jimmy and I over the years have taken in a lot of crazy fish. One of them that I took in was a 11, 12-inch just common goldfish, right? And
She was a beauty.
beauty. It's just basic, bright gold, nothing to it. And it was just huge and super fat. And this guy, he has had it in a big bag. You need to take this. This needs to leave my house. I'm like, why? It's beating up my Oscars. Your Oscars? You keep a goldfish with Oscars.
He wasn't that goldfish a feeder at one time?
Yeah.
That goldfish that the Oscars just gave up on it.
Well, here's the story. So he keeps buying goldfish from his local Walmart because he's, doesn't like to feed other food. And I highly discourage that. If you're feeding your predators, don't feed them goldfish because, one, you don't know what,
Nutrition.
It's not nutrition. One, you don't know what disease are in it. You're going to pass on, maybe parasites to your fish. And, some people say it's inhumane, but really that's just the way the world works. Fish eat other, bigger
Circle
fish
of life.
eat smaller fish.
It's the circle of life.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
So he buys these bags, from Walmart and just feeds batches of feeder goldfish. And he put a batch in. They ate all but one. They're like, a couple days they'll be gone. Nope. They left him alone. He put more goldfish in. They ate the others, but they'd leave him alone.
And he kept
he
growing.
was in there for a couple years and just kept growing and got so big he picked on all the Oscars in the tank. Because carp, they just mouth everything.
Yeah.
So it became a menace. And he's like, seriously, he's beating up my Oscars. I need him gone.
Was his name Mr. T? I pity the fool.
I put in the food. Get him out of here. No. So I got the goldfish, and I'm like, what? How am I gonna, get the? I could keep it. I could put it in my pond, but I already have overstocked. I'm trying to find a place for it. Pet stores aren't going to take this that we could wholesale to. We can't just give them a goldfish or be like, another goldfish, thanks. Especially the one that big that they can't sell in the wintertime in Minnesota because no one has a pond in the winter. So what am I going to do? So I decided I got this. I'm going to go on Craigslist. I'm going to Photoshop a certificate of badassery. So that's just exactly what I did. I found a nice, presented to, and I named him Bubbles the Goldfish. So certificate of badassery. It was a nice 8x10 frame. I framed it, and I put up with a big, long story on Craigslist. I said, this is Bubbles the Goldfish. He watched all his friends and family die, and he grew up to beat up the monsters that killed his family. And, I'm only looking for the most selective badass individuals that can take on this fish with this certificate of badassery. And he will cost you no more or no less then 1 20-ounce bottle of Diet Mountain Dew. I have diabetes. $10.12 strictly in change. A can of beef Chef Boyardee ravioli, not the generic stuff because that's gross. Don't do that.
Do you use the throwback recipe though?
Tea time. What's the throwback recipe?
Oh my God, Chef Boyardee, they had the throwback recipe now. It's like the
the Mountain Dew throwback Dew and
yes,
Pepsi.
it's like the old 1980s version of the Chef Boyardee. It tastes so much better. I don't know what it is. Maybe
I thought you were going to say like
fresh
1930s and like the Depression. Oh.
the can looks like it's from the 1940s, but they call it the throwback recipe.
So they actually probably put meat in it now.
Maybe it is.
I should have put the throwback.
I thought it was going to be like
I don't think it was out then.
Maybe it's an Impossible Burger.
I thought it was going to be like a cut up hot dog. Like you cut up the hot dogs, and put in there.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
what I expected.
That's the SpaghettiOs.
Spaghettios.
So again, $10.12 to change, Diet Mountain Dew, Chef Boyardee ravioli,
Tell them the important thing.
and a framed picture of Betty White.
Yeah,
Right?
Betty White.
Wow.
You're looking at me confused. See,
Betty White. She's pretty hot.
Thank you. See, Jimmy, this is a
Rob-
class act.
Rob has a sick obsession with Betty White.
Betty White now or Betty White?
Betty White anytime, but back then,
Anytime, anywhere. Rob's.
warning to the listeners: if you Google, Betty White in your younger years, she actually did a shoot for Playboy magazine before she was
Wow,
famous.
I did not know that.
Hot
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
right? So I figured, worst case scenario, I show up on some best of list of Craigslist. Someone giggles, posts it, but within an hour, I had someone message me, and by the end of the day, I had all the items in an 8x10 framed picture of Betty White and Bubbles the Goldfish phone at home.
Which is up in his bedroom right now.
I was gonna say, where's Betty White right now?
Yeah, I think it is in my bedroom. I got to go look. It's either that or it's packed up somewhere. I moved 2 years ago, haven't put it back up.
It's
But
under his bed.
It's underneath his pillow.
funny stuff, though. So I've been getting, for the listeners that have not participated in our podcast, we get different memes on the podcast, and that's the big thing that everybody picks on me for Betty White, and they pick on Jimmy for his stint with the Secret Service.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Right? You got to tell him.
He's on to us. Gotta go.
Yeah. Gotta go.
He's
Wow.
in.
We suck at this whole microphone
Yeah.
thing.
I know.
Everybody's.
Oh, I thought he was scared the cat touched him.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was kind of weird because when I came in here, I was just like, look, it's a man body part pointing right at me. And it just, I felt kind of like intimidated there for a second.
But you're protected from this.
Notice
I
we
am.
gave you the black one.
Yeah.
Wow. I appreciate it, guys.
It's much bigger than my
I
red one.
appreciate it
Right.
there.
It's much better.
It works.
So, how did you get on the Secret Service's naughty list?
Once upon a time, a long time ago,
In the Clinton era.
in the Clinton era, I went up to Fargo, North Dakota, Hector Airport.
Tiny airport.
Tiny airport.
It's an international airport. Should not be an international airport.
But it's North Dakota. It's the only one they got.
Right.
So as I come up to the airport, there's two black SUVs alongside the road talking to each other. One guy's actually out of the car, leaning on there talking. And I'm going up to pick some tropical fish up at the airport. And I just went, what are these two rednecks doing? So I just drove around them. And I drove around and I went about a half a mile to the airport, got to the airport, and all of a sudden this black SUV comes up on me at about 50 miles an hour in a 5 mile an hour zone with red lights flashing. I'm thinking, this isn't good.
Well, you should give some prelude to it was your best day ever.
Oh, it was the best day ever. I was going through my divorce.
Nice.
I had just got my butt chewed by my ex-wife again for the fourth time that day. What else had happened that day? Many bad things had happened that day.
You got yelled at. You got, I think, yelled at by some of your customers that stuff wasn't going to be coming in.
Yeah.
It was like the pinnacle of anything wrong could happen, and you were like in a rage mood.
Yeah, I was ready to kill somebody. And so this SUV pulls up on me, and he gets out of the car and he goes, "What the hell are you doing going around my roadblock?" I don't know who this guy goes. And I said, "Roadblock?" I said, "You look like a couple old farmers sitting there talking about the weather, you dumbass. Get out of my face." And I turned, you have to grab the phone to call into to the back room to get your fish. I grabbed the phone. He grabs the phone out of my hand. Now I'm pissed. take the phone out of my freaking hand, and I turn around.
Not on that day.
Oh man, I went up. So what's and I.
It was Taco Tuesday as well.
Yeah, I put my finger in his chest. I go, "What's your freaking problem, you effing a fucking big freaking beep?" I was pissed. And then he goes, "You drove around my roadblock," and I says, "Pretty piss poor roadblock." I said, "I drove around at 5 miles an hour, you know." And I go, "Who the hell are you?" And he goes, "Give me your ID." I go, "I ain't giving you my ID. Give me your ID." And he whipped out a badge. Shit in Secret Service. Son of a bitch.
Yep, sitting there with the Secret Service because President Bill Clinton was going to be there the next day.
The next day, and they were setting up a perimeter.
Right.
Yeah.
Who visits Fargo?
Yeah. And now you have to realize that.
People with wood chippers.
Yes.
Wood chippers.
Wood
You know what
chippers.
joke I'm talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking. Fargo would kill you, Dan.
Yeah. And too
Not
bad
the movie. No,
yeah,
that
and
couldn't
was
be
done,
it.
that was done in Minnesota too. I can't
That's
believe
right.
it. That was like the worst movie that depicted Minnesota.
Yeah.
We all hate it.
Dare
Oh my
Dan.
god, they
We
call
all
it
hate it.
Fargo, and it's done in
Duluth.
Duluth, and it's done in over by Brainerd too.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Right.
Worst movie.
Just like Grumpy Old Men, supposed to be in Wabasha, and most of that was done up.
Lake Minnetonka, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, everybody, we don't talk like that. We don't go around saying, "Yeah, sure, you betcha." Don't you know, eating a bunch of lutefisk?
I mean, you do
Okay.
if you're drinking nothing but McGolden Light.
Right. But who eats lefse in this room?
Oh my god, no.
Shut up. That's a fat joke, and I like it.
I know. So back to
You like fat jokes? You like lefse?
Both.
Both,
Oh,
yeah.
both.
So you have to realize that I am 4 feet from the big overhead door that opens up, and it's got a small window about this big. And I look, and now there's 16 pairs of eyes, like a Scooby-Doo movie, looking out, watching me get my ass rode by the Secret Service. And this guy goes, "You can't go around my roadblock," and I'm
He's
going,
losing his mind.
he's losing his mind, and the more he yells at me, the more pissed I get. And finally, he wants my driver's license. I said, "Well, I want your driver's license." And finally, he shows me the badge and gives me a card.
He grabs something like this and like,
Yeah. And so anyway, I still got the card somewhere.
I bet you do.
And
You should give out that number and tell everybody to call them and say,
well,
I love you.
There's an ending to this
there's
story.
a good ending to this story. So this guy jacks me up one side and down the other. Meanwhile, the other guy who's in the SUV is looking at his phone, like doop doo 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 doo. Got, he's not getting involved in this.
Flip phone. It was
Yeah.
it was the 90s.
It was. And anyway, he was just jacking me up, and I says, "Get out of my face. I'm going grab my fish. I'm getting the hell out of here and stuff." And "I'm going to run your background check." I said, "Whatever, dude, And I said, "I'm going to run yours." And I mean, just mouthing off, and he's just getting madder and madder. And finally he goes, "You can go." I said, "Well, I wasn't going to stay."
Eventually, they put two and two together that you're just a really angry old
Oh,
man.
I was an angry old man. I was an angry younger man. Yes.
Getting fish.
And so 2 weeks later, well,
Actually, that night.
that night just happened, and you can Google it and you can find it. So the Secret Service guy goes to stay at the local, I want to say it was like the Sheraton or one of the one nice hotel we have in Fargo. And the Secret Service was staying there, and they were getting ready for President Clinton to come in on Air Force One the next day. And I don't know what he was doing. He's doing some sort of talk or something. And so I'm getting this secondhand from one of the employees at Schmelta Airlines,
Schmelta.
Smell.
because this gal from Schmelta I knew very well, or actually it was a guy, and it was his sister that was the manager of the bar at the Sheraton or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever the hotel it was.
Right. And anyway, here's what happened. So the Secret Service guys come in there. They get rip-roaring drunk. They treat all the staff just like jerks. I mean, they won't tip. They're yelling. They're demanding, and they're obnoxious. And so at the end of the night, they're drunk. They go up to their room, and the waitress is cleaning off.
And they can't tell them to leave or tone it down.
Right, they
Because
know
they're
who
the
they are.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to do that. Now you're paying minimum wage at a bar.
Yeah. And so she's cleaning the booth out, and they find this briefcase.
Open.
Yeah.
Dum dum dum.
Exactly. They open a briefcase, Secret Service, and what's on top?
Jimmy
it's the
Hoffa?
president's itinerary for the day tomorrow,
Wow.
from start to
Yeah.
finish. Open briefcase, going, and the waitress says, "Maybe I should run it up to their room." And the manager, who was Schmelta Airlines' sister, says, "Screw that. I'm going to call somebody. And so she calls the Fargo Police Department, who then turn her over to the Fargo FBI.
Which is, they have an office right there, like
Yep.
not too far away.
Not too far away from. And so the FBI comes over. They turn over the briefcase to the FBI. The FBI say, thank you very much. And now we have to change the president's itinerary because everybody's seen it. And they go up, knock on the door, and both of the Secret Service guys got fired and flown back home that next morning. And the whole time when I was driving home, I was so goddamn mad. I'm thinking, well, this is a year I'm probably going to get,
Put on a list.
put on a list.
Which you are on a list, but
Yeah.
they just didn't act upon a list. You got real lucky.
Yeah, I thought, this is a year that I'm going to get audited or something, and have them crawl up my behind. But yeah, they both got escorted. But, they would have gotten away with everything had they been decent to the staff there at the hotel. But they were jerks, and so they just turned them over to the FBI. And the FBI,
Karma.
Yeah.
Karma
so
pays
instant
off.
karma. So that's my story why the Secret Service does not like me.
Yep. So that's our memes on the Aquarium Guys podcast. Now, we do talk about fish-related activities, just to let you guys
From
know.
time to
but
time, yes.
These are the small tangents that people make memes from.
Yeah, and you know what? I just go over and I just get off track all the time, so everybody's kind of used to that. So
Adult ADD.
Right?
that's right. I mean, look at all these tanks back here. It's all like OCD in lines.
But you know what I'm doing? I'm going to put my fingers in all the tanks and just smear them up.
No, don't.
No, wait.
Stop.
You had a word for this. It was confetti. No, clown
Clown
poop.
puke.
Clown
puke.
That's something I learned tonight, which I'd never heard before. So
Right.
Now you got to give me credit for that every single time.
yeah,
You're-
and we're going to use it every single
Do
time.
your viewers know what clown puke is?
I'm sure pretty much anybody that's not way up north knows what clown puke is. But maybe not. We can always
never know.
explain it to them.
Do it.
We have the television up here. We know what's going on.
Oh, well, you guys didn't know what clown puke was.
We don't
so.
get
This
out
is
much.
true.
So clown puke is the multicolored gravel that you put in aquariums. Most kids always want to get that kind of stuff. We call it clown puke because it just looks like a clown puked it up.
So you taught us today. That was a big FYI. That if you want to pick on your buddy, grab a pinch of clown puke, toss it in his tank, and it'll never leave.
It'll never. I mean, you'll think you'll have it all, and then you'll do a water change, and all of a sudden, boom, some pink gravel will be there.
See, glitter is the herpes of crap supplies. Clown puke is the herpes of aquariums.
That's right.
That's how it goes.
Learned a lot tonight. Learned a lot.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So you got one last story for us, or want to call it good for your listeners?
No. What do you guys? I mean, I can talk all night long. What do you guys want to hear?
Give us a good one, like something deep, something that your listeners would just love to know about you and you never told.
Do you have a story about something one of your listeners have done in your store that would just embarrass the hell out of them?
Oh gosh,
We want the dirt.
We want
you
the dirt.
you want the dirt and everything else. I have. I talked about it on your podcast a little bit. I had a customer that a Python filter or a Python siphon, and it was one of those things where they didn't know the actual name of it,
The correct terminology.
so they actually called it the penis pump. I will actually say it. I will actually say it. They called
Excuse
it.
me, sir. I need two. Two
He-
what?
He called it
Two of
that
those.
one, and he would call on the phone, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" They said, "The thing that cleans your tank." I'm like, "What thing? You talking about like a scraper? What do you? No, the thing that you know what I'm talking about." I'm
It's
like,
the brand.
I'm like, "No." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he's just like, "The penis pump." And I'm like, "Oh, the Python filter."
Oh, Lord.
So it's and every time he came in there, we just kind of always mentioned it back and forth.
Do you answer the phone like, this is Joe's Shrimp Shack and Adult Emporium? I mean, is that how you answer the phone?
That is.
I should do
He
that.
sells clown puke and
I
penis
should
pumps.
do that. I should just be like, "Hi, this is Joe Shrimp Shack. It's $4.99 a minute, and what can I do for you?"
YouTube, don't demonetize us, please.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Well,
so
that was some stories. It really was. But
we have tons of stories, like all the shows that we go to and everything else. Maybe we can tell it in the future and do another episode. And
absolutely, we're gonna come down so we're not actually like virtually transported and actually be there.
I know I kind of like this though.
You're feeling it.
I feel like I don't have to go to the store if I just do this. People would be like, "Are you at the store today?" Yeah, see,
yeah, right there.
Right
It's
here.
proof. It's proof that
Well,
you're there.
I'm
Yeah.
looking through your front window. I don't see you. I'm in the back room.
I had a restraining order against you, I thought.
Not against us.
No, that's
Oh,
the Secret Service.
Secret
It's
Service.
different.
That's a whole different deal.
So yeah, I mean, give a shout out to you guys, as podcast and everything else, and I want everybody that's subscribed to me to go ahead and subscribe to them and give a shout out and make sure you call Rich and tell Rich you love him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Ohio Fish Rescue, but again, we're the Aquarium Guys. It's aquariumguyspodcast.com. We try to do once a week. So far, we've done once a week or better.
Yes.
And we have all different types of guests. We've had been very lucky, and we're currently just hitting #1 spot for most popular aquarium podcast.
Congratulations on that then too.
And
Thank you.
we've had some great guests. We've had Robbie Chan.
Yep, Robbie.
Buddy of yours.
Yep.
Buddy of ours. We had
Jim Kitchen.
Jim Kitchen, the Plico King. Wonderful guy.
We had Big Rich and Josh from the Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yep. And Steve Rubicki from Angels Plus.
We've had a lot of different people on, and we're going to continue getting more people. So
And your buddy from the Koi Shop.
yeah, Bickle. I always say it's Bacall, but no,
It's Bickle.
Bickle.
It's Bickle Koi Farm.
Yep. And with our podcast, I don't know if you knew this, we have a double your money back guarantee. So we will give you twice as much money back as you've paid for it. So
Wow.
it's free. So 2 times nothing, still nothing.
That's great. Sounds like
It's the best price.
Best
It
price.
is.
Yes.
Best price of all. But like and subscribe this to find more content. Joe loves collaborating with anybody he goes with, and he definitely takes some time out just to go visit nearby fish people. So give him some love.
Yep. Thank you very much, guys, and you have a great episode, and we'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks.